scenario that you have planned for in Iran?
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. We have them very much beaten militarily from the military standpoint. They're still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers. We're hitting all of their missile stock. You know, they built up all these missiles over the last few years. They had a lot of them. They've shot a lot of them, and we're knocking out a lot. I guess the worst case would be we do this, and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. We don't want that to happen. That would probably be the worst. You go through this, and then in 5 years, you realize you put somebody in who is no better. So we'd like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people.
So what does each side actually want in the Iranian war? Because the objectives are very different. Iran's government wants to survive. Right now, Iran is fighting defensively. The strategy is to make this war painful enough that the United States eventually decides the cost isn't worth continuing. Iran has attacked energy infrastructure in neighboring countries and threatened shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway that carries roughly 20% of the world's oil. Iran has also launched thousands of drones and missiles towards Israel, U.S. bases, and Gulf states. Part of the strategy is attrition. Each interceptor missile used by Israel or the United States is extremely expensive. Iran is trying to drain those defenses over time. The idea is endurance. Absorb damage now and stretch the conflict until the political cost rises for the other side. Israel wants to break the Iranian regime. For years, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned about Iran's nuclear program, but avoided a direct confrontation because of retaliation from Hezbollah and other Iranian proxy forces. Now Israel believes the strategic moment has shifted. Iran's leadership has been severely weakened, Hezbollah has lost significant capabilities, and Israel sees an opportunity to destroy Iran's missile infrastructure, cripple its nuclear program, and push the regime itself toward collapse. Netanyahu has also made clear that as Iran moves to appoint a new supreme leader, whoever replaces the current leadership would effectively become a target for elimination. That tells you how far Israel is willing to push this campaign. The Gulf states want stability. Countries like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait all host American military bases and rely heavily on stable oil markets. They are aligned with the United States and Israel in opposing Iran's influence, but they are also directly exposed. Iran has fired more than 1,000 missiles and drones toward the Gulf region. Targets have included military bases, energy installations, airports, and infrastructure. Their priority is protecting their economies and preventing a broader regional war. And that brings us to the United States. They have several objectives, and this is where the politics become complicated. The Trump administration has said that the campaign is meant to weaken Iran's nuclear program, degrade its missile capabilities, and limit its network of proxy forces across the region. But the lead up to the war matters. For weeks, Israeli officials met with President Trump to plan the military campaign. American officials hesitated, but they ultimately concluded that if Israel launched a unilateral strike on Iran, the United States would likely be pulled into the conflict anyway. So Washington decided to coordinate the operation instead of reacting to it. And that's precisely where we are now. Politicians on both sides of the aisle have argued that the administration allowed Netanyahu to drive American policy. Commentator Tucker Carlson reportedly visited the White House 3 times in the past month, arguing that the United States should not be dragged into a war shaped by Israel's objectives. And then there's what the people want. Are we looking for stability? Are we looking for diplomacy? Most people around the world don't want war. The government knows this, but they don't care. They're using our money, our resources, and they're speaking on behalf of all of us by doing these terrible things. People don't think Trump is bombing Iran. They think Americans are. Now, some people will make the argument that war is necessary in this world. It is circumstantial. But how am I supposed to leave that decision up to my leaders whom I do not trust? My leaders that I do not believe in, that I see as either corrupt or extremely misguided. I did not ask for this war. Most of us did not, but I am being forced to accept the narrative. Let me know your thoughts.